So, yes. So we are live, and this is the first actually live we do after last week. Last week we met each other for the beginning of this month handling in the BSCF.
Yep.
Social this page, and also with the social media team. So we presented the whole social media team.
Yep.
So and I didn't post so much in this last days because actually I was working from home, and that's one of my particular experiences that I'm able to work from home, right? So that is actually cool. But today that I'm in the office, I have the pleasure here, and for that you are watching, I have here Paul. So
Hi.
Paul Burt is the managing director, right,
Yes.
in IBM, but particularly the important one is here because you are the vice chairman of the BSCFs. That is
Correct.
actually this page where we are sharing live, right?
That's right.
So, in important, I think we shared already in the past, but maybe somebody that is just joining now and is live now would like to know why. So, whether is there a career for you, right? What is there a career for people that are watching in the BSCF? So that means Business Service Center industry and so
Yeah.
on.
No, absolutely. And I think probably the biggest thing, or one of the biggest things that the business service centers as a whole deliver is, you get to get into this big global company environment. Some of the biggest companies in the world, some of the best known brands in the world are in this sector and are driving, a lot of innovation, a lot of big business with a lot of big clients. It's where a lot of the best companies are, and you just get that opportunity to get into the guts of these great big machines and really see how they work from the inside.
Okay, so that basically is not only from the job that might be interesting, but also the fact that you can learn a lot of things.
No, I think it's the whole environment. Absolutely, yeah. You get to really you get to see how a business can be run end to end. Especially in environments like ours, where we're typically having a range of shared services being offered from a particular location. So, you can get into the supply chain side of things, you can get into the finance side of things,
Yeah.
you can get into the marketing and innovation and even some of the research, perhaps side of things sometimes. So you get to see, as I say, all those different components that actually drive a business, and it's not necessarily what sits out there as an end product in the shop window, so to speak, but it's really all of that goes behind it, all of that creativity and the work and the drive and the delivery
Hmm.
that happens to make that product happens. That's what happens in your shared services
Okay, so
centers.
that's interesting, and because we always advertise so far that that the career is a good career, maybe quick career opportunity to to challenge yourself, but at the same time to let's say try to do different jobs as well because you are able to start something and then after 1 or 2 years to have something else. So that was something, but also that's interesting. So
Well, and that very much connects to the point as well. Exactly, is that you can come into these shared services organisations as a finance specialist, or as somebody who focuses on client service and customer care, or as somebody who focuses more on a technical aspect. But there's absolutely nothing that kind of locks you in to that. Yeah, and once you've gained your experience, your time here, you get to learn about some of the other areas that are around you. There's nothing at all that stops you from then making those moves from place to place, broaden your
yeah.
skills, and of course progress up the ladder as well.
So addressing to students, no. So if somebody that is studying or in the last 2 years of university,
Yeah.
so on top of this knowledge, what this industry has to offer, and why maybe they should actually start probably thinking that this is the first step for their career. Even in the future, they would like to open an enterprise or anything like that on
Sure,
their own.
sure, and I absolutely, I think it's a great aspiration for people who do want to go out and do their own thing and deliver their own businesses. I know several people who have done that, and they've been very, very successful, and I think that's great. For those people who are considering, is now the time to do that or not? I would say you have an opportunity here
Mm-hmm.
to get some good years of experience in really, with a much lower level of personal risk,
Okay.
to get in and see how a business is run, to understand it, to find out more about it, to learn. Again, one of the other great things about these companies, people come out of university or even high school, and they have a level of learning and understanding. But one of the things that we very much find is you still then need to, you kind of need to learn how to do the job that's being asked of you. That there's still
Yeah.
a learning element that has to happen once you come into the workplace as well. And our types of companies are very, very much focused on education delivery as well. So there's masses of learning opportunities that happen, both informal and formal, structured, unstructured. So people can
There's not
come in.
everybody is willing to learn to keep learning after the university. Maybe they're like, okay, I just want to work now. But still,
Well,
if you at one point you would like to, you have all these opportunities, and
yeah,
actually you would like to because the environment is changing so quickly
that's the point.
nowadays.
Exactly. I don't think any of us can afford to say that that's it. We've stopped learning now.
Mm-hmm.
Once you've reached that point where you think you've finished learning,
Yeah.
then you're not growing anymore.
Yeah, that's
You're
true.
not building anymore. And frankly, things aren't as fun anymore because you're not striving for that next thing.
That's true.
Um, there is a change in focus. When you're in your university and you're doing studies, then it's 90% studying and 10% everything else. And maybe when you come into the workforce, that split changes and you have time for other things, and perhaps study or learning takes up 20% of your time.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can't ever lose that. Not if you want to be successful.
So keep learning all the time. That's important.
Definitely.
So if somebody is watching us that is already working in one of the business service center companies, that there are many companies, and you can see also in our logo above, and so in our website all the companies that there are now inside.
Right.
So why is it significantly interesting to be part of this forum?
Well, the forum itself pulls together all of these companies, and that's representing some 30,000 people in Slovakia who work in the shared services today. And if you look back across the last 10 to 15 years, it really is one of the big growth and change environments in the Slovak economy and in the Slovak community. So, you're coming into something here where you haven't just joined a company, you've actually joined a community that is delivering something across the entire Slovak ecosystem, and not just in Bratislava. But a lot of the companies are focused here, but there are also plenty of other companies, of course, in Košice, but also in other areas around the country as well. Podunajska, but Žilina and Nitra and various, there's
So
all over the
all the
country,
country.
really. It's nationally spread.
So that's not, and there is actually this kind of network between all these companies where at the end we all have to share a common kind of career, right? So it's not that the same that they're not equal, but there are some similarities
Of
in the
course,
career
yeah,
path.
and shared services. So we're an IT company, of course, and we're primarily focused on shared services supporting the IT
Yeah.
industry. But a lot of the other companies in BSCF are not IT focused. They can be focused in other industries, and so you have everything from chemical companies to industrial to automotive to IT. There's a whole range of financial services, all sorts of things. So, uh, yeah, and the underlying kind of theme and key that goes through all of this is that they all have that shared services engine
Yeah.
that's driving the business, and without that, that layer that is the industry that they support cannot function. So that also creates a lot of cross-pollination ability, and it also means that we share a lot of the common benefits, but also a lot
Yeah.
of the common difficulties as an industry, and we can work together to resolve those.
So if you have actually more questions about the industry as such, and so you can always post them in the comments below, or you send us a private message on this Facebook group, because that's where we are able to get in touch with you and reply to any question or whatever. That's actually why we are here and the social media team is here to share as much possible, right?
Yeah.
Is anything else that we should share or we should make sure that people know about BSCF and career possibilities?
Yeah, well, I think when you're thinking about career, I guess the only other thing that I would add into that is that, as experience builds, as you gain experience and as you gain reputation in your company,
Yeah.
as I say, most of these are multinational companies, and it really opens up that opportunity for international travel. And when you've kind of reached that level of experience and that level of respect within your company, that you're known for being good at something, you can really start to get out around the world. You can get involved in projects, global projects quite often, where you're really starting to influence and make changes in things at a global level in the world, out there
Yeah.
on the streets. And I think that's fantastic. So,
And we saw many people that traveled or that had education abroad or had even 2 or 3 years abroad and then came back to. So, and it all started here.
Yeah.
And that's interesting.
yeah. So it opens up the whole world, really.
Yeah, that's true. So, thank you for sharing, Paul. That was
Thanks.
interesting to know, and I think that's important for also not only for the who is not part of this company, but who is already working for a BSCF, to know what it means to be part of it, or to at least get engaged on sharing that this is not only the company you're working in, but there is an entire industry in Slovakia that
Right.
is quite significant and important. And it's good to know, because that's a good career for people that are nearby you or they would like to have a job. Let's suggest that that's a place where you can start and then you move on with your life.
The world is your oyster.
Exactly. So thanks a lot for watching. Thank you, Paul, for sharing.
Thank you.
And see you in these days with another live show or perhaps a video in our monthly handling. Till then, have fun and see you soon.